Experiment 13, angle of minimum deviation. Here we are going to determine angle of minimum deviation for a glass prism by plotting a graph between angle of deviation and angle of incidence. So this is glass prism. So this glass prism is bounded by three rectangular faces. You can observe here, glass prism bounded by three rectangular faces and two triangular faces. Triangular faces are taken as base of the prism. Rectangular faces are taken as a refracting surface. It means when a light falls on any rectangular face, refraction of light takes place. This is glass prism. So now we are going to find angle of minimum deviation. Angle of minimum deviation means angle between incident ray and emergent ray. That gives angle of deviation. Now you can observe here, I am going to take a thermocol. On this thermocol, I am going to fix a plane sheet. First we have to fix this plane sheet on the thermocol. So this is a plane sheet. Let us fix the paper here. Now let us draw a horizontal line. Now I am going to draw a horizontal line. On this line I am going to keep a prism. On the edge of this horizontal line we have to keep the prism. Now let us draw the boundary or the outer line of the prism. Now this is outer line of the prism. Let us remove it. Let us write the point A, B and C. Now this is principal section of the prism A, B, C. Now let us draw normal. The line perpendicular to the surface. Let us draw normal here. With respect to normal, now I am going to take angle of incidence. So for the first trial, I am going to take angle of incidence 35 degree. So now I am using protector. I am going to keep protector exactly at the normal. Now normal is 0 degree, 0, 10, 20, 30, 35. At 35 I am going to take a point. Let us draw straight line. Now we can get angle of incidence. So this angle we can call it as angle of incidence is 35 degree. So normal and this is incident ray. Angle between incident ray and normal is called angle of incidence and angle of incidence is 35 degree. Now here I am going to put two pins on that incident ray. Instead of light radiation, let us keep two pins. The minimum distance between two pins should be 5 centimeter. So this is incident ray. Instead of light radiation, I am going to take pin. Now keep that prism in its original position. When a ray of light passes through the prism, refraction of light takes place so that the ray of light is bending. So here you can observe. So now we have to observe these two pins from this side. When we observe these two pins from this side, we can get its image. So by observing the image of the two pins, I am going to put two more pins here. Two real pins, two imaginary pins. All the four pins should be in a straight line. Now you can observe this surface. Now you can observe this face. So we can see the image of two pins. So by observing these two pins, I am going to keep two more pins here. Two real pins, two imaginary pins should be in a straight line. In that way, we have to put two pins here. Now you can observe here, these two are real pins, and you can observe this face. We can get two more pins, imaginary pin, two imaginary pin, two real pin. All the four pins should be in a straight line. In this way we have to put these two pins, and these two are real, and this is what refracted ray. Now we can draw refracted ray. Now I am going to remove the prism. Now you can observe these two green pins. So let us mark these two pins. Remove the two pins and join these two pins to the incident ray extended. I am going to join these 2 points to the incident ray extended. Now we have to find this angle. This angle we can call it as angle of deviation, angle between incident ray extended and refracted ray is called angle of deviation. Now we have to find this angle using protector. You can observe at this point we have to keep the protector. You can remove these two pins also. Now I am going to keep the protector at this point. Now you can observe the angle 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, exactly 40 we can get angle of deviation. Angle of incidence is 35 degree, angle of deviation is 40 degree. In this way we have to take at least 5 trials. In the first trial angle of incidence is 35 degree, angle of deviation is 40 degree. In the second trial angle of incidence is 40 degree, angle of deviation 38 degree. So in this way we have to take 5 trials. Now here you can observe the trials, all the readings. Here the least or minimum angle of deviation is 35 degree. So this is our answer. Angle of deviation is 35 degree. So we can prove it by plotting a graph of angle of incidence versus angle of deviation. Now you can observe the graph. Along x-axis we considered angle of incidence. Along y-axis we considered angle of deviation. So now by plotting a graph you can observe here the least number, angle of minimum deviation is 35 degree. Angle of minimum deviation is 35 degree.